What is going on YouTube? Welcome back to JDS NerdVerse. We are doing a different kind of playthrough than usual. Usually I do solo playthroughs, but we are doing actually a team playthrough of Pokemon Leaf Green. It's the third generation Pokemon. It bases a redo of Red and Blue, but it gets much better graphics, much more balanced game. A lot of the F-ups you have in Gen 1 are not there. So, we're playing through. Now, this is a challenge video. The challenge video basically will give us some restriction we have to play through as. So, for example, in this playthrough, we can only use we can't use a Pokeball. We can't throw a Pokeball. So we have to rely upon the game to provide us with Pokemon via by gifts, by be given stuff, whatever the case may be. So that is how this playthrough will go. We cannot actually throw a physical Pokeball and get a Pokemon that way. So I'm going to let this play through real quick. So we actually have to choose a Pokemon early, and I choose Charmander. I'm going to go ahead and pause and go to the Charmander scene real quick and go over Charmander's stats. So I chose Charmander. There's a lot of reasons, but there's plenty of time for me to explain why I chose Charmander. Charmander has a base stat total of 309, 39 HP, 52 attack, so that's pretty decent. Special attack is 60, so that's our, those are our best. That and our speed are our best stats. So we're very fast offensive Pokemon, but actually our defense isn't horrible either. 43, 50 special defense for a total, and then like I said, speed is 65. So 65 and speed and special are our best, and it attacks pretty good. But it's a really well balanced Pokemon. So when you go to Charmeleon, when we evolve into him, I think it's level 16. We get 58 HP, 64 attack, 58 defense, 80 special attack, and 65 special defense with 80 speed. Pretty good there. And then Charizard, I believe we get this at level 36. HP is 78. Attack is 84. Defense is 78. Special is 109. Special attack, I'm sorry, is 109. Special defense is 85. And speed is 100. So this is different than Gen 1. Every video you've seen of mine about Gen 1, you don't have special attack and special defense. Just special covers both. And after Gen 1, they started adding in special attack and special defense because it made some Pokemon very unbalanced. So yeah. So we have good special attack, we have decent special defense, and good speed. So that's the starting Pokemon I chose. I really only had two options, and I'll explain that a little bit later. But let's go back to the playthrough. So we chose Charmander. Charmander is, first off, he's my favorite starter in Gen 1. I don't hate any of them, but he is my favorite by far. So we fight this battle. I'm going to let you watch it. We do pretty well in this battle. This battle is not much of an issue. I am playing through at a much faster speed. This game does a lot more of the, I call it the extracurricular stuff, where it'll show more battle scenes, and maybe there's a way to turn that off, and I just didn't do it. But I'm gonna go ahead and show this part where Charmander we have to go get Professor Oak's parcel. Charmander is really good early game because he gets Ember at level 7, and that lets you blast through Vermilion Forest. Really, there's only two choices to play through this game with this kind of challenge. So another part of this challenge is that we can only use the Pokemon we retain for HMs as well. We can't catch an HM Mule. We have to use Pokemon that we can catch, that we can play through as. So to start the game, you're offered 3 Pokemon. Charmander, Squirtle, and you're also offered Bulbasaur. You cannot use Squirtle and beat this. The reason why is, of the 3 starters, Squirtle cannot learn Cut. If you don't get Charmander or Bulbasaur, you will not be able to get through the game because you will not be able to get a Pokemon that can cut unless you catch one. So, this is not possible. So, that leaves you with Charmander and Bulbasaur. Now, Bulbasaur was not going to be a horrible option, but there's some trade-offs to Bulbasaur and Charmander. One, Bulbasaur's problem is he doesn't get his stab move till a little bit later. He gets at level 10. As you watch here, we pretty much blast through the bug forest. This is why Charmander has such an advantage. It's because the early part of the game he can go very fast because he has a type advantage. Fire has an advantage over Bug. Bulbasaur does not. He would have a weakness, and even if he got Vine Whip is not going to be super effective against Bug. Or Birds. So you have a lot of Bugs and Birds early, so that's why Charmander, I chose him. The early part of the game is faster. Now, here's where Bulbasaur has an advantage. Bulbasaur has an advantage over the gym leaders. Brock and Misty, he has an advantage over. He has a new resistance to electric, and then the grass gym he does okay with. But Charmander gives us more versatility. Charmander can get more moves early. He has more power points, so he can come back. He doesn't have to go back and heal as often. And I just personally think that I've played through in Gen 1. Gen 3 I'll have to find out because I haven't played through Gen 3 yet. But in Gen 1, Charmander is just way more imposing. He is way more, he can just brute force his way through some situations that that Venusaur and Blastoise I don't think can. So here is our rival fight. Now we leveled up to the point where we get Metal Claw, because Metal Claw will do a decent amount of damage to Bulbasaur, but Squirtle, but not a lot. And our rivals uses Squirtle as usual, as per tradition. So Metal Claw will do a little bit, but it's not doing much. So I'm just going to Metal Claw my way through this. We are 5 levels higher. I don't think he has Bubble yet. Maybe that's an oversight on my part that Squirtle doesn't get Bubble yet. But we win the battle pretty handily. We're level 14. So now we're facing the junior trainer, or Camper Liam. It's changed. So the other thing about Charmander is Fire type, even though Rock isn't weak to us, they don't have good special. So having a Fire type Pokemon like Charmander will get us through the Brock Gym pretty handily. We're also pretty high leveled as well. And we evolve into Charmander. There we go. Congratulations, little buddy. And then we face Brock. Now, I can't do the Wakanda for life for this one because it does not look like that in this game. So, Ember, like I said, Ember will do pretty well. It does a little less than half. So it's about it's a 3-hit knockout. We get the knockout very good. We move on to Onix. Now, there's no Bide in this game. Onix has Rock Tomb, which is okay, but it's not a great move. In this game, they also took away all of Brock's full heal. So, we get a pretty quick victory against Brock. Now, we are really high leveled right now. So, yeah. We're pretty high leveled at this moment. So then we're going on Route 3. Now, so I've gone over why I chose Charmander. And also Charmander and Bulbasaur, like I said, the only ones going to learn Cut. So Charmander also has another advantage here on Route 3. We have also a distinct advantage where we don't have to go back and heal. We have Metal Claw, Scratch, and Ember. All 3 of those moves can get us through this part of the game pretty handily without us taking too much damage. A lot of one-shots in here. We don't have to take a lot of damage back. So we get through this pretty well. We get a lot of experience very quickly. Now, I'm skipping over as many battles as possible right now. And it's not because this is not a speedrun challenge. I'm not trying to get the game done as fast as possible. I'm just seeing what kind of team I can build out of necessity here. So here's where we get our second Pokemon. And we get Magikarp. Okay? So Magikarp, I'm going to go ahead and pause this for 1 second. So Magikarp, let me go to Magikarp's stats really fast. And we'll go over Magikarp real quick. So Magikarp, look at those stats for Magikarp. 200 base power. Isn't that awesome? Yeah, we didn't do this for Magikarp. Magikarp has 20 HP, 10 attack, 55 defense, 15 special, a special attack, 20 special defense, and 80 speed. So for a little fish that just flops around and splashes, it has excellent speed. I gotta give it that credit. And when we evolve into Gyarados, we get 1 more speed. That is insane to me, but everything else goes through the roof when we evolve into Gyarados. So Gyarados, honestly, is probably one of the best Pokemon in Generation 1. He really is. He's probably top 5 easily. One of the best Pokemon in Gen 1. The stats go from 200 to 540. It's the highest base stat total differential between a non-evolved or a base Pokemon and its evolution. Magikarp I think has the lowest base stat total in the game. It's the worst Pokemon in the game. I cannot wait to play through that in Gen 1 with Pokemon Red or Blue. That's going to be fun. But when we get Gyarados, we get a Pokemon that literally has a lot of its stats rearing around that 100. The 100 mark. 95 HP, 125 attack, 79 defense, 60 special attack. Special defense is 100. And then special speed is 81, which I find that really insane to me, that it goes from a fish that flops around to this full-blown, like, water Onix serpent thing, and it only gets 1 more speed. I find that very, very funny, but yeah, so that's what we're striving for with this Pokemon. That's our goal that we're getting with this Pokemon here. That's the hope. A hope in the dream, okay? So let's go back to playing... Go back to this. Yeah, come on, go back. There we go. And so we're doubling back to fight some battles. Magikarp's level 5, so we got to get it evolved got to get to level 20. Magikarp literally will not do anything until level 15. At level 15, he gets Tackle. But I'm doubling back to fight amongst these battles because we need Magikarp to be evolved. The sooner Magikarp is evolved, the better. Now, if I chose Venusaur, this part would be a little bit better. I'm not really relied upon Magikarp to get evolved in the Gyarados as much. Because Bulbasaur can beat the Misty's gym by himself. By herself, himself, whatever the gender is. Alright, so that is why we're doubling back. But with Charmander, we have to have Charmander get the ability to somewhat be close to beating Misty. And what I mean by that is, like, we're gonna get Mega Punch, we'll get some other moves, but we have to have Charmander higher level if we're gonna win, or Charmeleon higher level if we're gonna beat Misty with just them. But if we get Gyarados, we give a chance because then Misty will not use water moves, we can just use Bite and so on and so forth. But we're doing the switcheroony. I call it the switcheroony. Where you gotta switch out Magikarp every time for Charmander. And this is just to get Magikarp experience. It's not in a fast level up group. That's one of the downsides to Magikarp. I can understand Gyarados being in a slow level group, but Magikarp is literally nothing. But we have to get through this part anyway because we need the experience. We absolutely need the experience. We need to get a second Pokemon. So that, like I said, that is one downfall to using Charmander is you have to get the second Pokemon evolved. Now, the reason why we had to use Cut, because Gyarados is the next Pokemon we can get, and we can't get another Pokemon until we get Celadon City. So we have to get through 2 gyms, the SSN, 2 more rival fights, and we have to get through Rock Tunnel. So that's where we're at right now. That's what we're trying to do. Now, I'm pretty certain I was trying to cut this part out. Oh, I am. Okay, I get what I'm doing now. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to diminish all my splashes so I can potentially learn... you get a move whenever you diminish all your power points. You get Struggle, and Struggle gives us the ability to actually do an attack without switching out. So it's an attempt to maybe level up a little bit faster. In hindsight, I shouldn't have just worried about it. I forgot in Generation 3 that the opposition does have power points. So eventually, we have 40 power points with Splash. Kakuna has 30 power points with Harden. And then it won't do another attack, and it'll just start hurting us with Struggle. And this is the other downside to doing the switch in, switch out. Is Charmeleon is susceptible to getting hit, either by poison, could be put to sleep. All those things are possibilities. Like right here, we get put to sleep. So those are things you have to deal with. And like I said, this is not a speed run, so I don't have a timer. I'm not trying to beat a clock or nothing. I'm just trying to beat the game. So I can fight as many battles as I need to. I can grind if I need to. But I'm just showcasing you that the struggles I have early. And a lot of this stuff really isn't that important to the plot of this. But it's about getting Gyarados to a higher level. So that's one of the struggles, is you got to have a Pokemon that can learn Cut. The other struggles is you got to have Pokemon to learn the other ones too, and you also have to allocate your Pokemon, your resource. So Pokemon are a resource in this. You only have a couple options. So you have your 3 starters. That's one option you have. You have Magikarp, which the way we got him is there's a guy right outside of Mount Moon that he's in the Poke Center right outside of Mount Moon, and you can buy a Magikarp off him for $500. So that's how I got him. Okay, like I said, didn't throw a Pokeball, didn't have to. You bought it, and that's how we got him. So the next Pokemon we get, we have a couple more options, but you're going to see the next Pokemon we get. And we also got to try to build a balanced team. I actually played through this a long time ago, and I had a really unbalanced team that had a lot of dragon types on it. And Lorelei destroyed me. She was a really big crux of that playthrough. She really destroyed me. So Ember is a one-hit knockout there with the Super Nerd. And yeah, we're just gathering some stuff here. Like I said, we're not trying to dodge battles here, except for minuscule battles against wild Pokemon. It's kind of not worth it for the experience, the time it is, when I can just go to a real battle, switch out. I could potentially get like poisoned, but still we're gonna get a lot of knockouts. So Charmeleon is at level 20. What it can learn next is it has 2 moves it can learn next. It technically can learn, no, I guess not 3, because there's one challenge in this as well, is I haven't played through Generation 3 that much. I've probably played through Emerald more than I played through Red, or Fire Red, Leaf Green. I also chose Leaf Green because it makes some Pokemon cheaper that you can buy at the Rocket Game Corner. So that's another place where we can accumulate a decent amount of Pokemon if we need to, is Rocket Game Corner. So what does this entail when you do a playthrough with just Pokemon that you find that you have to get via Pokeball? Well, you have Eevee. Eevee is a Pokemon that I say you steal Eevee because you walk in and just grab right off the table. You don't even talk to anyone. They don't give it to you. Nothing. You also have some fossil Pokemon you can get. So what that means is the fossil Pokemon, you have Ammonite, and you also have Kabuto. And so those two are pretty solid, but you'd have an unbalanced team because there's a lot of flyer types. They're water types, so you'd have at least 2 water types with Gyarados included. So those 2 are options, but they're not options I chose in this playthrough. You also have the old Amber, which gives you Aerodactyl. So that's another option we have. We also have the Rocket Game Corner, like I said. The Rocket Game Corner gives you, I think it's 5 different Pokemon you can buy. Porygon's 1, Dratini, I think it's Clefairy, Pinsir, and Abra. So those are 5 Pokemon we have access to as well. Now you can build a pretty decent team out of those 5 alone, to be honest with you. However, we want a balanced team, and we don't need some of those Pokemon. Some of those Pokemon are not going to do well in a playthrough like this. And there also is Pokemon you can trade for, and that's probably one of the best things I can do in this game is trade for a Pokemon. Because when you trade for a Pokemon, that Pokemon gains experience at a much higher rate than any other Pokemon you have. Okay? The experience rate of that Pokemon is through the freaking roof. It's amazing. I love it. Okay, so this part's very droll. I get it. But I wanted to showcase a lot of the grinding that I had to do early. I'm not going to showcase all of it, trust me. I fought probably every trainer in this game to get our whole team to a certain point. Probably not every trainer. I probably missed a couple here and there. But I fought most of the trainers in this game to get us to a point where we could be competitive in the Elite Four, where we can get through the gym leaders. So all this grinding, and we're not going to be able to get through Misty when we come out of Rock Tunnel. Not at all. Or Mount Moon, sorry. So after all that grinding we've done so far, and we still only have... we still have Magikarp only at level 12. Now at level 15 he can learn Tackle, which will mean he can help you in some way, shape, or form. But it's not really all that much. Now here's where you're also coming across some slight issues, not massive issues, but slight issues. Is not Magikarp, Charmander. So now Struggle, see how much little Struggle did, even though it's a normal type move. Is we're starting to run out of Ember power points. Ember is our most powerful attack that we have. But we do have Metal Claw, which is nice. But the problem we would have had with Bulbasaur is Bulbasaur would have had to leave and heal like a lot more often. Because Vine Whip, its best move, only has 10 power points. Alright. So now we're facing this Team Rocket member. We're almost out of Mount Moon. Going at a pretty good pace. Alright, so Struggle, Hyper Fang, very good. We got knocked out, and I'm a little upset about that because I wanted all this experience, but we actually dug out and came back. I didn't show the digging out. So we dug out, came back, so that we can make sure Magikarp was included in these battles, so that it can get experience. I don't know why I clicked for it to attack. What are you doing? Just switch out. There we go. 2-hit knockout with the burn and the scratch. And now the Super Nerd is going to... go ahead. Come on. The Super Nerd is going to bring out a Coughing, Ember. Oh, we get poisoned. I hate that about this game. There's so much poisoning going on. Also, here's what's funny, is you have to actually keep your money in this one. So in most playthroughs, I can buy a whole bunch of potions and things like that. And this one, I have to be scarce with it because I have to buy moves in this game. You can actually buy a lot more moves in this game than you can anywhere else. So now we're here, and this guy will teach us Mega Punch. It's not super great. It's not the greatest move in the world. It's 80 base power, 85% accurate. So it's not the greatest move ever. Yeah, 80 base power, 85% accurate. So it's not the greatest move ever, but it is a move that is pretty powerful. It can be a pretty good heavy hitter, and it just makes it so you don't have to go back and heal as often. So we're in Misty's gym. We're not going to face Misty right away. That would be suicide. We are rock or fire type, so we don't have a lot of options here. We do have to rely on a non-accurate move. So, like I said, we're trying to get evolved here. And like I said, this is a much different playthrough than I've ever played through as. Especially on this channel. I've done playthroughs like this before, just goofing around and trying to see what I can do. But on this channel, I've never done a playthrough like this, where I'm building a team out of it. And I hope you like the graphics. I know a couple of my friends that play this game. They're gonna love the graphics, because the old graphics they're not the worst, but it could be a lot better. And this one has definitely upped the ante when it comes to how the quality of the picture and everything, the pixels, whatever. Definitely made a better video game out of this. So now we're facing our rival. Our rival has 4 Pokemon. You start out with Pidgeot. Now here's the risk with Pidgeot. Pidgeot's can sand attack the hell out of us, which starts doing. Alright, and Ember. There we go. Magikarp gets level 15. There's Tackle. Very good. And he switches out. Okay, yeah, switches to Magikarp. And switch back to Charmander, or Charmeleon. And we got Ember's not going to do nothing. We got to find a better move. So let's do Mega Punch. One more time with Mega Punch. And we get 1 health left. Jesus, that's amazing. And Abra, we're going to switch to Magikarp. Now, Abra's not going to attack. It's just going to use Teleport over and over and over again. And while this is going on, I'm just going to heal up Charmeleon real quick. I didn't have any rules against using items. I'm going to do them scarcely. But in this situation, I have no rules against using items. But I'm going to let Magikarp get the full experience out of this. Tackle, Tackle, Tackle. And Abra's just not going to do anything. So, and now Rattata comes out, and we're going to switch to We shouldn't be attacking. Nope, we should not be doing that. We're not going to do any damage to this Pokemon. It's a waste of time. But anyway, I just hoping, being optimistic, that we can get a little bit more damage in, so we can get Magikarp some experience. Well, like I said, we're at level 16, which is good. And now we're fighting. I believe we're on Nugget Bridge. Nugget Bridge gives us the ability to get a lot of experience very quickly in a small area, because we still can't beat Misty. What? Gyarados or Magikarp's evolving Gyarados. So what we did was, instead of attacking, so Gyarados learns Bite. So let me so now we're gonna go take on Misty. So now with Gyarados, Gyarados gives us the ability to actually beat Misty. Because Charmander can beat Misty, or Charmeleon can beat Misty, but we have to be higher level. So Bite does about half. It does about 45% damage. And it gets the knockout. Very nice. And now Starmie comes out, and Starmie can't really do much, because her AI says that this is a water type, so we're not going to use any water Pokemon, water moves. So we just use Swift. Swift never misses, but we're too powerful. And then we have our next rival fight, which is good, because that means that we're definitely on our way with this game. You have 2 very powerful Pokemon right now. You have Charmeleon, which has a very good moveset right now. And now we're going to learn Scary Face. We're not going to learn Scary Face. We don't need it. We got My Face. It's already scary enough. So we don't have to. But Gyarados comes right out of the gate with Bite. It gets Dragon Rage. And it also, we can give it Water Pulse from Misty's Gym immediately. So we already have a stab move. We already have a move that's going to do at least 45 damage. That's what Dragon Rage does every time. And then Bite can do some decent damage, and it can make a Pokemon flinch. So Dig is a move we picked up to give us some versatility. I thought in Gen 1, Dig does 100 base power and 100% accurate. In Gen 3, it's 60 base power, 100% accurate. So it's not quite as powerful as it was in Gen 1. But I'm not going to complain, and I'll take it. It does the job. So now we're facing Lieutenant Surge, who usually isn't too difficult. Ember will 2-shot. Now, Voltrobe and Magnemite in this generation are considered Steel type as well. So Fire does a lot more damage to him than it would in Generation 1. And we dig, and we miss. And we're paralyzed now. That's awesome. Love being paralyzed. Dig will 1-shot. It's a ground-type move. And then Surge will send out Raichu. Raichu doesn't do much, but he uses Double Team and ups its evasiveness. And we are paralyzed, so that's not helping us either. So this really is just a battle of attrition. It's this stupid Raichu running around and trying not to get hit. I thought the whole point of in the game, or in the show, was that Raichu was evolved too early, so it did not get double team like that. Or maybe it's agility. That's possibly what it is. So we're not going to survive too much, but Dragon Rage, no matter what the typing, still does 45 damage. So we beat Lieutenant Surge, and now I'm going to have to pause this for 2 seconds because we just got our next Pokemon. Actually, I'll let it play through. And right here, we're going to buy a Thunderstone. Thunderstone's a big deal because now with a Thunderstone, we have Eevee. And what I want to say about the Eevee thing is you literally come into... I'm trying to get to where this... Okay. So I'm going to play this again. You literally just walk in and you steal this. That's sitting on a table. You don't even talk to the guy. You just walk in like, oh, what's this? Mine now. Thanks, buddy. So, and then we get Thunderstone. And if you've played Pokemon, you have a couple options with Eevee. You have Flareon, which is a fire type. So if we went with Venusaur, we probably would have gone with Flareon to have a fire type for some balance. We also could have got Vaporeon. Vaporeon doesn't make sense. We already have a water type. And, I mean, 2 water types isn't the worst thing. This isn't Gen 2, though, where you have Waterfall and Whirlpool, where you have to have an extra water HM. We just need Surf, so Gyarados will get Surf, so we don't need another water Pokemon. And Leaf Stone we can't do in this generation, but there is a Leaf or evolution for Eevee. But with the Thunderstone, we are going to take this Thunderstone and evolve into the other option that we have with this Pokemon, which is evolve it into Jolteon. Jolteon gives us the ability to have a good electric right away, and because we beat Lieutenant Surge's gym already, we get Shockwave. We can teach him to him right away. So, yep, we're going to teach it right now, and then I'm going to show you the stats for Jolteon. Go ahead, pick a move. And cha-cha-da, we learn a move. Okay, cool. So, let me go ahead and just show you Jolteon's stats real quick. So, Jolteon has very good stats. Actually, all the Eevee evolutions have pretty good stats. They're just balanced differently. So, we don't have good HP, attack, or defense. However, Special is fantastic with this Pokemon. 110 Special attack and 95 Special defense. And then our speed's 130. So, tied up in that right there is over... God, that's over 300 of our power points. Or our base stat total right there. Just in Special and speed. So very good. We don't have good defense, so we can't get hit a lot. We don't have good HP, so we don't have a lot of hit points. And we don't have great attack. However, anything special will be very effective with this Pokemon, no matter what the case is. So, back to this. Now, here we can get a couple extra Pokemon. So the first one we get is with 25 coins, 2,500 coins, we can get Pinsir. Now, this is where I made a mistake. I chose Pinsir. I'll go over that here in a little bit. And then the other Pokemon we grab is Abra. Abra is a good Pokemon, but we're not going to use Abra today. We're going to go ahead and trade Abra for a Mr. Mime. Mr. Mime is fantastic in this game. It is a traded... First off, it's fantastic, period. Okay, so I'm going to go over Mr. Mime's stats real quick. Where is he at? There we go. I'm going to go over Mr. Mime's stats really fast. So Mr. Mime has pretty good stats. Not quite as good as Jolteon, but it's the fact that it's Psychic type. In this generation, they kind of mitigated the advantage that Psychic had. It used to be overpowered in Gen 1. Now it's not. However, Mr. Mime has... Though its stats look somewhat horrible, like its HP and attack look bad. As long as it's special, you're going to be fine, because your special's 100. Your defense is 120. Special defense is 120, and speed is 90. Your defense is 65, so that's okay. You get a lot of moves that can give you a lot of defense, like Deflect, Light Screen Barrier. You get all those. You get Meditate to boost your attack. But you also get a lot of Psychic moves, which Psychic... We get Psychic like right away. We get at the Mr. Mime right away, and what we can do with Psychic is it's a 90 base power move with Stab. So it's a 135 base power move right out the gate. It's a level 7 Pokemon that gets a move like that right out the gate. Now, like I said, I'm not going to showcase the stats for Pinsir. I'll explain Pinsir really quick. So Pinsir, not a bad Pokemon. Do not get me wrong. It's not a bad Pokemon. When I was playing through, I played through a little bit, got Pinsir up to the same level as everyone else. And I was playing through, and I was like, how good or bad is this Pokemon? Nothing was one-shotting. It just didn't seem to have enough bang for its buck. So I'm like, you know what? There's got to be a better Pokemon out there. So that is when I decided to go and get someone else, and you'll see that here in a little bit. But right here is the old Amber. Now, old Amber will give us another Pokemon, in which I won't showcase till we actually get the Pokemon. So that's fine. And now I think of it, I might not have put it in this playthrough. But we're going to face Erica's gym now. So Erica's gym, we got Mr. Mime up a couple levels. We skipped over a lot of trainers so that we could double back, and Pinsir and Mr. Mime could be that much more effective. So as you're seeing here, like Pinsir is as good a Pokemon as it is as a bug type. Does not get any bug moves. So nothing stab. We have to use like normal moves. We have to use like fighting type moves, so on and so forth. So that's kind of one of the downsides right now to using Pinsir. Now, in hindsight, I should have just gone with another Pokemon, and I regret it. And I could have saved myself a lot more time grinding, and I could have had a couple more levels for everyone else by not allocating experience points to Pinsir. So in the games you play through, you got to look at things as resources. You have a finite amount of experience you can gain. I guess not technically, because with wild Pokemon. But you only have so much experience you can gain by trainers, which give you more bang for your buck. You're going to fight a trainer or a wild Pokemon, you're going to get more experience out of the trainer. Right? So you get more bang for your buck. And like I said, Mr. Mime will just blast through this gym. This is why right away Mr. Mime becomes one of your strongest Pokemon. Right away. It's psychic type, it has good, its special's great, and it pairs up well with the moves it learns. So, but things in these games are, you gotta look at them as like resources. For example, when I do a solo playthrough, all my resources are allocated to one Pokemon. Money, experience, potions, so on and so forth. Whereas in this game, it's a little more challenging. You have to balance those things. You have to balance out who gets what, how you're going to get potions. You can't always get potions because you'll run out of money. Okay? And in these games, when you have teams, you have to buy more things. You can't just go off level up movesets. And in Gen 3, in my opinion, I think there's less TMs you can learn. A lot of them you have to go to some dude to teach you, and you can't teach it more than once. You can't go buy more moves. So a lot of those things are not available, although Hyper Beam is available for literally every Pokemon in this game. You just buy it. So that's what the issue is right now. Is not an issue, but it's just something you got to keep in mind when you're playing through, is you have to allocate your time, and you have to allocate your resources, money, experience you get from other trainers. And one mistake I made in this was choosing Pinsir. I should have just chose a different Pokemon. Actually, the Pokemon I replaced it with probably wasn't super great either, but I thought with its elemental punches, you'll see that in a minute, it would give us a nice advantage. So we get Psybeam, replace Confuse, just a slightly better secondary move. And see, like looking at Pinsir, like none of these moves are one shots. Vice Grip's a great move. Do not get me wrong. I just played through on Gen 1. I just played through with Krabby. Vice Grip is fantastic, but nothing here is one shotting. You don't have some kind of Beetle Pinsir move or whatever that you can use that's a bug type. So you just have to use normal type moves. And after viewing that and seeing that there's really not a lot of one-hit knockout ability, I did not see where it was going to be an advantage to have it in the Elite Four. So all these fights here are really just to get experience, because Erica is not going to be super difficult. I can promise that. She's not. Sorry, I'm taking a drink of my drink. So Erica is not going to be that hard. Okay? I haven't even used Charizard in here yet once. This is more or less just me trying to get experience to my Pokemon, the ones that need it, the new ones that I got, the free agents I picked up, so to speak. And now Charmeleon, he'll blast through whatever you put in front of him. Now, we're not at the point yet where we have a really good fire move. We're probably about a level or two away from that. But we're able to use Ember. It is super effective. It'll two-shot anything in here. Not quite as good as Mr. Mime. Mr. Mime will one-shot with Psychic every time. And now I just got to try to heal. And I'm trying to see if there's a berry that can do this. And we got a Paralyzed Heal. Very good. And like I said, I'm not too worried about Erica. We just got to put the right Pokemon up front. And we'll be able to beat Erica, no problem. And here's the fight with Erica. Erica, like I said, won't be too difficult. We have literally a Psychic type to beat her Poison. We have a Bug type that's going to be resistant to her Grass moves. And Dig ain't going to do much. It's about a third. Vice Grip does about a third. Yeah, Stun Spore. This is basically the gym where you're going to hit a lot of status conditions. But we get the level up, and we're paralyzed. So I'm not going to switch out. I'm going to see how long I can ride this pincer wave real quick. Revenge, very good. Revenge actually does a decent amount of damage there. I was really surprised. And gets the knockout against Tangela. Now, the last Pokemon's Vileplume. Vileplume can be tough. I like Vileplume. I used it all. I used to use Oddish all the time in my playthroughs. And the question is, will he survive one more hit? He probably won't. Giga Drain. Mr. Mime doesn't have great defense, but Psychic is a one. It will knock it out. Would have knocked it out from the get-go because it's a Poison-type Grass Pokemon. So now I didn't show all these battles, but now we're at Giovanni. Giovanni will be a cakewalk. Razor Leaf or Magical Leaf will one-shot everything. So Magical Leaf is actually a really nice move. I've never used it before. But basically, it is like Swift, but for Grass-type Pokemon and for Psychic-type. I don't know why Mr. Mime can learn a Grass move. He can also learn Solar Beam. I don't know why. But if you... That's another thing about Mr. Mime. If you need a Grass move or a Grass-type Pokemon for a situation, he's pretty good. Magical Leaf is pretty good. Alright. So now we have our 5th rival fight. 5th rival fight. Brick Break is pretty good. Does pretty good damage. Growlithe comes out, and like I said, I could literally just be using other Pokemon and not giving Pinsir all these level ups. He gets to level 33 before I'm like, you know what, I need to just go a different route with this. So, Gen 3 is a little bit better than Gen 1, where if you're put to sleep, because you can attack on the term you wake up. The only downside is you can deplete a lot of your power points by doing that, so that is a downside. However, and Execute, you little jerk. Stop seating me and putting me to sleep. And Double Kick does nothing. It really does nothing. Jolteon's really there just to be the electric Pokemon, because in Elite Four, you only have Lorelei. Most of her team is Water type, and then you have your rival has a Water type, and then Lance has a Water type. So Electric is mainly there to mitigate that issue. And like I said, Jolteon can't take a lot of damage. But we go back to Charmeleon, and Charmeleon can do a bunch of things. Now, Wartortle, it's coming out. We can't really do much when it comes to Wartortle without an electric Pokemon. So we just have to rely on a 2-shot by Dragon Rage. Very good. Take no damage with Gyarados. And now our rival has 1 Pokemon left. Confusion doesn't do much to Gyarados at all. Dragon Rage, like I said, 2-shot. Very good for mid-game, not very good for late game. Kind of frustrating, to be honest, that Dragon Rage can't get any more powerful. So now we're facing our rival fight. Okay? So now we're facing our rival. And I'm trying to use Thunder. Thunder should one-shot Pidgeot. Very good. Oh, rival has Pidgeot as well, so that's great for in-game as well. So Growlithe comes out. Now here's what's also different about this game. Is in this game, we have the ability to switch out from Pokemon to Pokemon. I turn that off in my solo playthroughs. So that takes a little bit more time. After every Pokemon's knocked out, they ask us if we want to switch. And we can continue to keep switching. So now we have Flamethrower and we have Charizard. Very nice. Charizard's very strong. And we can go back to Jolteon. Blastoise is out. Thunder. Thunder. Okay. Get the knockout. And there's one more Pokemon heading out. And we actually have Aerodactyl now. So I do regret that I didn't showcase how we got Aerodactyl. But basically on Cinnabar Island, you take it to scientist there, and he'll revive it, and then you get an Aerodactyl. So, and here's why what I mean by I regret the Pinsir stuff is because I could have used that experience to get Aerodactyl higher rather than Pinsir, which I ended up not using except for an HM Mule, as an HM Mule. Which reminds me, after this battle, I'm going to go ahead and show you the last 2 Pokemon that I've added to our team, and then we will be able to progress to the rest of the video with just me talking about the battles. So Kangaskhan comes out, Surf. It's not a 1-shot. It's actually probably going to be about 3 or 4-shot. Now Kangaskhan can't really do a lot of damage to us, so it's not too bad. Mega Punch, however, just like freaking did a lot of damage. Damn. Okay. Knock out Kangaskhan. Gain some experience. Giovanni's about to throw out Nidoqueen. We're gonna skip Nido. We're gonna skip that and keep Gyarados out there. I think Gyarados is a Dragon type Pokemon. What do you think? Because Lance has him. on his team. And I think Gyarados is a dragon type more than he is flying type. That's just me. Super uppercut. Come on. Let's do Ice Punch. Ice Punch can freeze, but... And Hitmonchan isn't super powerful. It just has some good elemental moves that are helpful in some fights. Not a lot, but some. So Giovanni, we beat him. And I'm going to go ahead and pause before we go and face Blaine. So let's look at the Pokemon that we added. So first off, we added Hitmonchan. Hitmonchan has very good attack, low HP. Decent defense, I guess. 79 is not bad. Special attack is horrible, so you can't really do a lot when it comes to doing anything other than physical moves. Special defense is 110, and 76 is our speed. So, not bad. Probably, there's just not a lot of options when it comes to Pokemon I can choose. I can choose Dragonite, there we go. Dragonite was an option I could have chose. Clefairy was an option I could have chose. I also could have gone potentially with Kabuto or Kabutops. But then I'd be unbalanced with water type. So I was trying to keep the balance going. And then the last Pokemon I got is Mr. Aerodactyl. Aerodactyl is a pretty solid Pokemon overall. It's got one of the best speeds in the game. It's got a great moveset in this generation. Gen 1, it actually gets very much boned when it comes to the moves. You don't have access to Rock Slide. You don't have access to any real ground moves. But with Aerodactyl, we do get access to those. We have great attack, great speed. HP is okay. Defense and special are kind of abysmal with 65 and 60, and then special defense is 75. So, but overall, great base stat total as an overall Pokemon. It is fantastic to have on your team. Very fast Pokemon. And now we're going to be facing Blaine. Blaine is not going to be super hard. We have Gyarados, and we can pretty much run roughshod over the entire team. But we're going to let Aerodactyl get some experience here. And we're at level 37, so our levels have gotten pretty good. So, Fire Blast misses. Ancient Power doesn't do a lot. Fire Blast almost one-shots us. What we should have done is go for Fly. Fly is considered stab to us because we are a flying type. Gyarados comes out, and he intimidates the opposition. Very nice. So, Hyper Beam gets... all the gym leaders in here cheat. They use Hyper Beams and potions all the time. It's kind of annoying. But we get the one-shot. And now Blaine brings out a Ponyta. Ponyta won't be too hard either. It'll be a one-shot. And then the last question is Rapidash, or is it Rapidash or Ninetales? Which one is it? I don't remember. Now, I usually never keep this move. But because Gyarados is mainly solely our water-type Pokemon, and we have more than one Pokemon, it's okay to have him unbalanced with a lot of one-type move. And the last Pokemon is Rapidash. We should not switch out at all. We should go fight and go right for... Oh, we flinched. Son of a gun. Rapidash will not be a one-shot. Hydro Pump might have been. I don't like using Hydro Pump personally, because I think Hydro Pump... the accuracy that Hydro Pump hits, for me, never feels like it's the percentage that it's listed. Whenever oppositions use Hydro Pump, they never miss, in my opinion. They feel like they never miss. And Sabrina, she got rid of her whip, but she's in a really nice outfit. And we're facing Sabrina's gym. She has Psychic type Pokemon. We start out with Gyarados. Gyarados, he's not Dark type, but he does Intimidate, so it does help his damage output to her Pokemon. And we get a two-shot. Oh, we're going to heal again. Mr. Mime, hey, that's us. And almost one more. Bite gets the knockout. It took a lot of damage for just trying to take out that one stupid Pokemon. So Venomoth comes out, and we're just going to burn it. We're just going to set it on fire. Burn it to the ground. And Alakazam comes out. And we're going to test out this new Blast Burn. It's a 150 base power move, but it's basically kind of like Hyper Beam, but for fire types. You can't attack afterwards. And we're at Giovanni, which is the final gym leader that we need to get through this game. So Giovanni's going to come out with a lot of rock type Pokemon. Rock ground type. And we're going to just use Gyarados and just run right over him. We're going to steamroll right over him. 2 knockouts in a row. 2 one-hit knockouts, I should say. Slash gets a little damage to us, but 3 one-hit knockouts. 3 Okos. Is Nidoqueen going to be a knockout on one hit? No. She's pretty bulky, so she took a little bit of damage there. And we're going to go... Okay. Hyper Beam, or Hydro Pump knocks it out. And is Nidoking going to be a one-shot? It is. Nidoking does not have the defense that Nidoqueen has. So we beat a Giovanni and we transition to the next part of the game, which is facing our 7th rival fight before the Elite Four. So this is not a hard fight. Being able to switch from having versatility in Pokemon gets us this. Actually, we get knocked out, which is kind of dumb. However, we're going to use Thunder Punch, take a little bit more damage. Jeez. Wow. I can't believe that. Sometimes you guys gotta take the smart move. Alright, Rhyhorn's coming out. We'll leave Gyarados out. No, we won't. We're gonna go for Magical Leaf, get the knockout. What we should have done there is actually go for Reflect and upped our defense. So Blastoise is about to come out. We're gonna leave Mr. Mime out there. Magical Leaf is still a grass type, but Blastoise is very bulky. Now, Rain Dance ups the damage dealt out by water type moves. So I'm going to go and up my attack real quick so I can get one more attack in. Psychic doesn't do a lot anyway. Rapid Spin knocks me out. And now we're back out to... it doesn't make sense to send out Gyarados or Aerodactyl or Charizard because water type. One's rock flying and one's fire flying. That doesn't make sense either. Dragon Rage, get the knockout, very good. The next 2 Pokemon should be pretty easy. This should be a one-shot. Let's go for Surf. One shot. The Growlithe, very good. And then the last Pokemon, Execute. We'll go for Charizard, just to be safe. Charizard, use Blast Burn or Flamethrower. It should knock it out one hit. Okay. Blast Burn's great if it's like the last Pokemon. So Blast Burn again. See, does a lot of damage. Doesn't get the knockout though, because Alakazam has a great special. But we get the win, and then we head into the Elite Four. So Lorelai's first. Lorelai can usually be very difficult. And let's just pause this for a second. Let's think about our team. Lorelai's Ice type. We have Gyarados, who's a water flying. Okay. We have Charizard, that is a fire flying. We have Aerodactyl, that is rock flying. Okay. So that only leaves us with a couple Pokemon that aren't super weak. So we have Fighting type with Hitmonchan. We have Electric with Jolteon. And we do have a grass type move with Mr. Mime. We could probably also use Solar Beam if we wanted to. But, so we don't exactly have a lot of advantages against her. However, we do have Jolteon, which has one of the best speeds in the game. And as long as we get a hit off, we should be able to one-shot most of her team with Jolteon. Now, I added Thunderbolt. So Shockwave was 60 base power. And Thunder is 120. But Shockwave is 100%. And, yeah, I'm going to pause that for a second. So Thunder is 120 base power, but 75% accurate. Thunderbolt is 90 base power, 100% accurate. So that is why I chose to go that route. So Surf is going to try to knock me out. Thunderbolt gets the knockout, though. And Jolteon clean sweeps this entire team. Very good. Oh, no. Okay, so we're going to actually switch it. We're not going to clean sweep the entire team because Jinx is actually Ice type. So Charizard comes in for that one-hit KO to finish off the battle. Very good. We beat Lorelai. I think it was on our second try. And in this game, Lorelai looks a lot better than she did in the other one. The other one, she's just kind of sitting weirdly. But now she's made to look way more attractive. So now we're facing Bruno. We don't talk about Bruno very much. But even in this game, Bruno does not drastically improve. He still has Onix, which so far in my solo playthroughs, Onix is the worst Pokemon I've ever played through as. He's horrible. I don't know why an Elite Four member would have him in his team. There are so many things it's weak to. You'd think you would mitigate that by just having other things. Surf. We might get knocked out by a dang Hitmonchan. But hey, that's us. We have Hitmonchan. So we're going to get a full restore. Awesome. And nothing here is doing a lot of damage. So I'm going to switch out to Mr. Mime. Mr. Mime's Reflect will up our defense. And doesn't do a lot of damage to us. Psychic will actually probably blast the rest of this team. I don't know if we're going to keep Mr. Mime out or not. I play through, but I don't remember everything I do. So Mega Kick is the knockout. So now we don't have a Psychic type to beat the rest of these Pokemon. So I have to go a different way. Fly, super effective against Hitmonlee. Very good. And we're going to try this again with Machamp. I don't think it's going to be a one-shot. I think it's going to, probably because they bulk up. Cross Chop is a one-shot. Oh, boy. So are we literally about to lose to Mr. Bruno, the Lost Hiker? No, we're not going to lose. Machamp is a one-shot, and now Gyarados comes out to face Onix versus Water Onix. What could happen here? And we beat Bruno pretty handily. Now, Agatha can be tricky, and I thought it would be tricky, but we have just too much stuff. So we took 2 battles to beat Lorelei. Okay? 2 battles to beat Lorelei. We took 1 battle to beat Bruno, and Ghost type, and Full Restore. Of course they use Full Restore. Why wouldn't they use Full Restore? So Psychic gets the knockout. The first Gengar's down. Now, Agatha, like I said, it can be tricky. It's the JDS 11 coin Agatha lottery. Because they can poison you, she can put you to sleep, she can paralyze you, confuse you. All those things are in her repertoire. Now, these are poison type. So, Arbok and Golbat are both poison type Pokemon. So, being poison type, Psychic were super effective against both of those. So, Haunter's coming out. Earthquake ain't gonna do nothing. I was thinking like Gen 1, Earthquake is super effective and knocks him out in 1 hit. Now I'm put to sleep, so now we gotta go a different route with this. So we're gonna go with Gyarados. And Surf, I wasn't quite sure which would do more, but it looked like Surf is doing more. And gosh, if these Elite Four members could just not use cannot use those stupid Full Restores, that'd be the greatest thing ever. But they keep doing them. You're gonna see that you're not gonna hear the audio, but I was really cussing out the rival as many times he did a Full Restore. I was like, it's not in the rules. You're breaking the rules. Yeah, MFer. But we beat. Okay, so we knock out the Gengar. We beat Agatha. This was first time victory as well, and I believe Lance is a first time victory as well too. Because Lance, all you gotta do is get by Gyarados. His Gyarados. And we have the perfect Pokemon to do that. Jolteon, it will outspeed, which is good. So Jolteon, 1 shot, got the Gyarados out of the way. Okay, now Dragonair comes out. And this is where Gyarados comes in handy, is Dragonair. Ice Beam should be a 1 shot on Dragonair. Should also be a 1 shot on Aerodactyl, too. But I guess the rock type must be resisting it. I don't know. I don't know why it didn't do a lot of damage. So now with now this doesn't make sense to me either. Is we have a flying rock that we're able to hit with Thunderbolt. That doesn't make sense. But the flying type, I guess the flying type is more predominant. I don't know. So now Dragonair comes out. We do not have an ice move. However, we can learn Dragon Claw, and Dragon Claw is good because dragons are weak to ice and other dragon moves. And of course, another Full Restore. Because why can't we be more of a pansy? Why can't we be? Elite Four. I wonder if you're sponsored. I wonder if they're sponsored by Full Restores. Ice Punch doesn't do a lot because the punches are only 75 base power. And of course, another full heal. That's awesome. And I think we got lucky. I think we got Hyper Beam. There we go. Okay, so now we're down to Dragonite. I think there's 1 or 2 Dragonite left. So we're going to go Mr. Mime. We should set up Reflect. Yeah, there we go. Hyper Beam doesn't do a lot. We get a whole turn to set up a Meditate to boost our attack. And we get beat by Outrage. Awesome. So now, I was hoping to do a lot more damage than that with Blast Burn. So Outrage 2 shots my Gyarados. And so now I'm a little bit in trouble here. Because I don't know what else I can do to do a lot of damage. It's resistant to Electric right now. And Thunderbolt is a more powerful attack than Double Edge. So now I'm down to 2 Pokemon that are paralyzed. So all I gotta do is get off 1 attack, and I can win this game. Very good. Awesome. We beat Lance. So that was very lucky. And then we heal up, and now we're facing the champion. So the champion is tricky because, one, he has as much versatility as I have. It's not balanced to one thing. So Pidgeot, I don't know how it's not a 1 shot. If it wasn't like weak to Electric, I would maybe understand. But it should have been a 1 shot. I don't know why it's not. However, Jolteon gets the knockout. Rhydon comes out. And we should be going for Surf. Getting the 1 shot very easily. Hydro Pump gets the 1 shot very easily. Moving on to the champions, Alakazam. Alakazam, we don't have a great just physical move. Like, we had a Pokemon with Body Slam. Which I think you can learn it. I just couldn't figure out how to learn it. I think you gotta go to one of the islands, I believe. So now Alakazam. I'm pausing here because I'm thinking. I'm thinking what I have to do. What'll be the most effective. So I'm like, okay, Mr. Mime has Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball should do pretty good damage to Alakazam. And yep, it gets knockout. 2-hit knockout. Very good. I was thinking about what it was because Alakazam could wreck my whole team if you give it a chance to. Okay, Arcanine comes out. And so we should use Surf, but we're going to go for Hydro Pump. How does it only do half? It's 9 levels higher. Okay. So we get the knockout. We take a lot of damage. So now we're down to what? 2 Pokemon, Executor and Execute. Executor and Blastoise, the last 2. So burn, Blast Burn, very good. Get the knockout in 1 hit. Now we're going to go for Jolteon to get the knockout here. Thunder, it's the 120 base power, almost knocks it out. Not quite there. Okay, so now it heals a smidge, and it's probably going to go for a full restore, yeah. So this is what I hate about full restores. You did all that work, and all of a sudden they just like, you know what? I'm just going to heal. Full restore. No consequences for my actions for sucking. Ice Beam doesn't really do much. I was just trying to find a move to do a little bit of damage. All my moves are ice and water. I should have hung on to a normal type move, like maybe Hyper Beam would have been great there. Earthquake doesn't do anything. He's just one shot in everything I have. So this is the problem with he is 12 levels higher, so it's not unfathomable to me that he's like kicking the crap out of me. So all I need to do is get 1 hit off. 1 hit. 1. And he full restores like a pansy hit that he is. So Blast Burn does nothing. Doesn't really do much to it. I got to recharge. He's going to get a chance to attack me. Slash doesn't do nothing. I really don't have a lot of options here. So unless we get lucky and get a crit or something, and it keeps up in its stupid defense, we get knocked out. So we do lose to the champion. So we wouldn't have lost if it wasn't for all these damn full restores. But it's completely in the game mechanic that you can use them. I just choose to not use them as often as the rival does. I think it's a Bush League. I think it's a pansy tactic, in my opinion. And again, don't know how Thunderbolt isn't a one-shot. I guess it's because of the levels. It's 7 levels higher. It has to be. That is the only thing I can think of. I need to just hit 1 attack. Come on. Just hit the Pokemon. And we don't get the attack. It's so dumb that we just don't get the knockout here. It's so dumb. But it is what it is. Alright. Send out Rhydon. Or Gyarados. Rhydon comes out. Rhydon, we're going to use Surf. It's going to one-shot. It's not a big deal. We didn't have to use Hydro Pump. Why risk the lesser move, the less accuracy move? Okay, Reflect. I'm trying to do that to help mitigate future damage dealing. Alright, so now for some reason we're not doing as much with Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball was a 2-shot last time we fought this Pokemon. And of course he full heals. And now I'm just like, okay, everything went well last time. Jolteon lasted. Mr. Mime lasted. Earthquake. Not a one-shot, but now it ups the defense, but it's okay. And Blastoise comes out. Now, good news is Blastoise is like the 3rd Pokemon this time rather than the last one. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we can get this thing knocked out pretty quick. Hydro Pump, of course, knocks me out. Awesome. And I'm trying to get this Blast Burn to knock it out. Very good. Thank God. So its ace is gone. Now we just have to get the rest of its Pokemon out of the way. Okay, Arcanine comes out. And Hydro Pump is a one-shot, even though it's 9 levels higher. Very good. And now bringing out Executor. And we should just be able to Blast Burn and knock it right out. We missed, and we put the frickin' sleep. How in the... We just got to get 1 Blast Burn off, and we'll probably knock this bad boy out. Nope, its defense was upped. That's why we did not knock it out right there. Egg Bomb gets the knockout. So now we're at a position where we have 3 Pokemon left. Both of them are kind of weak to Grass type. I don't know how Ice Beam does not knock that thing out. It is a Grass type Pokemon. And get another full heal. And I'm just like, this is where I'm like cussing it out. Like, you pansy, I had you. This is almost done. And Blizzard does nothing. It is insane how little Blizzard does right now. It's an Ice-type Pokemon. I do not understand this. It is what it is, though. I'm not going to gripe about it, but this was, like, making me so upset. Like, does this Pokemon have some weird defense that I'm not quite aware of. I don't know. So Hitmonchan comes out and we're asleep. That's awesome. And it full restores again. Ice Punch doesn't do nothing. Giga Drain just heals back everything I just did. Mega Kick does nothing and knocks me out. So now we're down to Aerodactyl. And we're actually weak to grass type moves. So, but Fly, it's weak to Fly. So, put to sleep again. Wow, okay. So, we're going to do this again. Fly, as soon as we wake up, we're going to Fly and knock this bad boy out. Just got to hit it. Just got to hit it. Very good. And we beat Butt. Our rival's name was Butt the whole time. I didn't tell you that. So, we get the win. And I'm very, very happy with this. We didn't have to get all the way level like 60 or 55 or whatever. We got to level 50 and 51 and 52 to beat the champion. And yeah, I'm just going to stop the video as soon as it shows the team. And that's the Hall of Fame. That's the team we won with. So, as I said before, this was not a speedrun challenge. That's why I'm not going over the time or anything. This is a challenge just to beat the game. And what kind of team could we potentially have to beat the game with without throwing a Pokeball? Okay, Charizard was my starter. Got Gyarados second. Jolteon was third. Mr. Mime was fourth. Technically, Pinsir was fourth, but I think Pinsir could do more, do as much. And honestly, Hitmonchan really didn't do much either, so probably a wash. But Aerodactyl was definitely a Pokemon that did well for us. And Hitmonchan, he was there. He was a part of it. That's pretty much it. So, that is my playthrough. So these are, on Wednesdays, are going to be some things like this. There's going to be some Pokemon replays, because there's some Pokemon out there that I played through in Gen 1 that could use a second playthrough because I think I messed up some things. I'll give an example. The first one I'm going to do is Bellsprout. I was not aware that Bellsprout can't learn Body Slam, but when it evolves into Victreebel, it can. So I delayed evolving into Weepinbell forever because I wanted to get the move Slam, because I didn't think I could have another move. I didn't think I could get another damage-dealing move. But Body Slam could have been taught, and it's way more accurate and way more powerful. So that's just one example where I'm going to try to see if I can get a way better time than I did with the first time. But yeah, that's my playthrough. I hope you like this type of video. I'm sorry for the cutaway scenes, but I really want to showcase it. I'm using OBS to do all this, and then I actually produce everything after it's been filmed in Movie Maker. So if you're curious about the technology, I don't know any other programs or how to work them as well as I do these two. So, and I just learned how to do transitions, but the problem with the transition scenes is it would stop the video and restart it every time I tried to transition back. So this was the best way. I could at least pause it, bring up the stuff that I needed to for the stats, and then go right back into the play-over-play. I know there's a way you can split it off where the gameplay will keep playing and you can just do the stats. I don't know how to do that. So maybe send me a tutorial if you see this. If you know of a tutorial that can show me how, I'd be wonderfully obliged if anyone does that. So yeah, Wednesdays are going to be some videos like this. I hope you enjoyed it. Everyone have a good one, and see you.